House enters the diagnostic room and directs Dr. Adams to an index card taped under her chair. The card predicts that a black pawn will attempt to seize control of the department at a specific time. Foreman, the newly appointed Dean of Medicine, sits at the table. House uses the card to demonstrate that Foreman's attempt to exert authority was anticipated and recorded in advance. During the patient's diagnosis, House intentionally suggests a flawed medical theory. He waits for Foreman to intervene. When Foreman corrects him and demands a test for encephalitis, House uncharacteristically concedes. He allows Foreman to believe the department is finally under his command. The team watches as House plays the role of a submissive subordinate. The situation shifts when the patient attacks his wife. Foreman dismisses the violence as an unpredictable complication. House tells Dr. Park to check under her chair. She finds a second card stating the patient would punch his wife. Foreman claims House wrote the note after the event. House then produces a third card from his pocket. It predicts Foreman's exact accusation of fraud and includes a dated photograph of House holding a newspaper from 3 days prior. House reveals the entire medical conflict was a setup. He manipulated the case to inflate Foreman's ego and create an illusion of control. He places his leg on the desk, exposing his electronic ankle monitor. He tells Foreman that if he truly has control, he no longer needs the device to restrain House. Foreman signs the removal order. House walks out of the office, free of the monitor. Jeff sits in his car inside a closed garage. He leaves the engine running, waiting for carbon monoxide to fill his lungs. His wife and son return home to find him unconscious and rush him to Princeton Plainsboro Hospital. Jeff has lived with unexplained, agonizing pain for 3 years. He wants to die. House's team begins a battery of tests. They suspect poisoning, then a blood clot. During a routine examination, Jeff's heart stops. The team resuscitates him, but the mystery deepens. They perform a full-body MRI to search for tumors or lesions, but the scans come back clean. There is no physical evidence of disease. The agony becomes unbearable. Jeff begs his family to let him go. His young son, Zach, decides to take action. He steals a bottle of isopropyl alcohol from a medical cart and sneaks it into his father's room. Zach is prepared to help his father commit suicide to end the suffering. House reviews the medical records from 3 years ago. The files note abdominal pain as the first symptom. House realizes the previous doctors misidentified the location. The pain didn't start in the stomach. It originated in the testicles. House intervenes just as Zach is about to administer the poison. He explains that epilepsy can manifest as chronic pain if seizures occur deep in the brain's sensory region. The team hooks Jeff to an EEG. The monitor captures abnormal electrical spikes hidden deep in the brain. The incurable pain is a series of seizures. They administer anti-seizure medication, and the pain vanishes instantly. Jeff is cured. Dr. Eric Foreman compromises a high-stakes clinical trial to save his colleague and lover, 13. He secretly intercepts her medical supply, replacing her placebo with the experimental drug. He ignores the double-blind protocol to ensure her survival. The intervention triggers a catastrophic side effect. During a routine examination, 13 fails to track movement in her peripheral field. The vision loss accelerates until she is plunged into total darkness. A scan confirms the drug has induced a tumor growth pressing directly against her optic chiasm. Foreman must now rectify the damage he inflicted. In the operating room, he performs a high-precision procedure. He threads a catheter through her arteries, navigating the device deep into the brain's vascular structure. He uses the catheter to deliver a radioactive seed directly to the tumor site. The margin for error is non-existent. A slight deviation would result in permanent neurological collapse. The radiation successfully shrinks the mass, and 13 regains her sight. The physical recovery is immediate, but the professional fallout is final. Foreman places a call to the pharmaceutical company and admits to the tampering. He provides a full account of his ethical breach. The company responds with a permanent ban, stripping him of the right to lead or participate in clinical trials for the rest of his career. He secures her vision but destroys his own professional future. 13 can see again, but the foundation of their relationship is shattered by the weight of his illegal sacrifice. Dr. House issues a cold ultimatum to his subordinates, Foreman and 13. Because they are a couple, House claims their relationship compromises the diagnostic team's logic. He demands that one of them quit immediately, or he will fire them both. 13 decides to play the martyr. She believes her medical skills are more transferable and moves to sacrifice her career to save Foreman's position. She approaches House in private, offering her resignation as a trade for Foreman's job. To her, this is a test of devotion. Foreman operates on a different logic. He refuses to be the beneficiary of 13's pity. While 13 Foreman prepares her exit. Foreman goes behind her back to negotiate his own survival with House. He strikes a deal to stay on the team, effectively neutralizing 13's sacrifice before she can even finalize it. The power shift culminates in House's office. 13 enters, expecting to witness Foreman's reinstatement as a result of her nobility. Instead, she discovers that Foreman has already secured his spot by betraying her. House watches as the relationship dissolves in real time. Foreman does not apologize. He delivers a clinical deconstruction of 13's actions, claiming she only offered to quit so she wouldn't have to feel guilty later. He accuses her of being controlling rather than loving. Foreman takes back his hospital badge and his authority. 13 is left with nothing, no job, and no partner. In House's world, professional ambition does not coexist with romance. It consumes it. The workplace hierarchy is restored through a total pursuit of self-interest. Mary collapses in her hospital bed, her body locked in a violent seizure. The monitors scream as her brain activity spikes into chaos. Time is running out, but the hospital's radiology department is completely jammed. There is no opening for a CT scan. House refuses to wait. He orders his team to bypass the modern queue and use an obsolete technology, transcranial Doppler. This brain radar uses ultrasound waves to track blood flow through the skull. It is the only way to locate the internal bleeding without a scanner. The team finds the hemorrhage and stabilizes her, but the underlying cause remains a mystery. House observes the recovery room. He sees a cluster of balloons brought by female teammates, but notices a glaring absence. Not a single boy from her team has visited. Mary is 12, but she is being isolated by the males her age. House enters the room and forces a confrontation. He does not look for a virus. He looks for a secret. Mary finally breaks. She admits she had a sexual encounter with a teammate during a trip. House performs an ultrasound, revealing a fetus. The pregnancy has triggered thrombotic thrombocytopenic purpura, or TTP. Her immune system is in a state of total war, causing her blood to clot and shred her own red blood cells. The immune storm was never an infection. It was her body reacting to the life growing inside her. House prepares the procedure to save her life, leaving the 12-year-old girl to face the weight of her secret alone. Fran collapses during a $1,000 cash transaction. She is rushed to the hospital in the middle of a violent seizure. Dr. Cameron and the diagnostic team search for a cause. They test for parasites from Venezuela, drug toxicity, and breast cancer. They run a CT scan to map her brain and organs for hidden tumors. Every test comes back negative. The medical team hits a dead end while the patient's condition stabilizes, then crashes again. The breakthrough happens outside the lab. At Fran's house, an orange cat sits near a full food bowl a healthy cat would have eaten. The team realizes the animal is dead, killed by something in the air. 50 years ago, Fran's home and the neighbors were a single estate. They still share an interconnected ventilation system. The neighbor recently hired an exterminator to fumigate for pests. The toxic gas flowed through the old pipes directly into Fran's living space. Usually, such high levels of poison trigger immediate nausea, forcing a person to flee the room. However, Fran was wearing a scopolamine patch for motion sickness. This patch